I grew up in the northern part of America, where winters were long, cold, and unforgiving. Snow covered everything for months, and the forests felt endless. Even now, when I think about winter, my chest tightens. What happened to me out there is something I can never forget. At the time, I was 18 years old and living alone in a small cabin near a deep forest. During warmer months, I worked as a delivery driver, but in winter, I stayed home most of the time. I liked the isolation. The quiet helped me think, or at least that's what I told myself. That winter was worse than any I remembered. Snowstorms came one after another, burying the trees and paths under thick layers of white. The forest near my cabin felt heavier, darker. Still, I often went for walks. Being inside too long made my thoughts feel loud. One afternoon, just before sunset, I decided to take a short walk into the woods. I told myself I wouldn't go far. I put on my heavy coat, boots, gloves, and grabbed a flashlight. The sky was gray, and snowflakes drifted slowly through the air. The forest was silent. No birds, no wind, only the sound of snow crunching under my boots. At first, everything felt normal. The trees stood tall and bare, their branches weighed down by snow. The path was narrow but familiar. I had walked it many times before. After a while, something felt wrong. The air felt heavier, like it was pressing down on me. I stopped walking and looked around. Everything looked the same, but the silence felt wrong. It felt like the forest was holding its breath. I laughed quietly and told myself I was being stupid. Then I noticed something in the snow. Footprints. They were large and deep, like someone heavy had walked through recently. My stomach tightened. No one else lived nearby, and the storm the night before should have covered any old tracks. These were fresh. I followed them for a short distance, thinking maybe another hiker had passed through. Then the footprints stopped. They didn't fade. They didn't turn. They just ended. I turned around. More footprints had appeared behind me. They were the same size, the same shape. My heart started pounding. I decided to head back home. But when I turned, the path didn't look the same. The trees stood closer together and the trail felt narrower. It felt like the forest had shifted. Snow began falling harder, blurring my vision. I walked faster, my breath coming out in short, sharp clouds. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Following me. I stopped. The footsteps stopped too. I spun around. Nothing. My chest burned as I tried to calm myself. I told myself it was just my imagination. Snow could play tricks with sound. I started walking again. The footsteps came back. Closer this time. I ran. Branches scraped against my coat as I pushed through the snow. My boots slipped and I nearly fell. Every direction looked the same now. The forest felt endless. Then the footsteps stopped again. I leaned against a tree, gasping for air. That's when I saw it. Between the trees stood a tall figure. It looked human, but wrong. Its body was thin and stretched. Its arms hung too low. Its head tilted slightly, like it was studying me. Its skin looked pale against the dark forest. I couldn't see a face, just darkness where eyes should be. I tried to speak, but no sound came out. The figure stepped forward. The snow beneath it didn't crunch. That's when I realized something terrifying. It wasn't leaving footprints. I screamed and ran. I didn't know where I was going anymore. My legs burned. My lungs felt like fire. Snow filled my mouth as I gasped for air. I tripped and fell hard into the snow. Pain shot through my ankle when I tried to stand. I couldn't move. The forest went silent again. The figure appeared near me, standing tall and still. I felt cold in a way I had never felt before. Not just on my skin, but deep inside my chest. Memories flooded my mind. My cabin, my childhood, every regret I had ever carried. The figure spoke. Its voice was calm. "You walk where you should not." Tears froze on my face as I shook my head. I begged, though I didn't know what for. The figure leaned closer. The cold became unbearable. Everything went black. When I woke up, I was lying near the edge of the forest, only a short distance from my cabin. Snow was falling gently. Morning light filled the sky. My ankle hurt badly, but I was alive. I dragged myself back inside and locked the door. I didn't go outside for days, but things didn't go back to normal. At night, I heard footsteps circling the cabin. In the mornings, I found footprints in the snow leading up to my windows. They never led away. I started seeing the figure in my dreams, standing at the foot of my bed, watching. One morning, I found a strange symbol carved into the snow outside my door. I didn't understand it, but looking at it made me feel sick. A week later, I packed what I could and left that cabin. I never went back. The cabin is still there, deep in the forest. Locals say animals avoid it in winter. Hunters refuse to go near it. And sometimes, when snow falls just right, people say they see footprints leading into the woods, but never coming back out.